The Arizona Tea Party held a rally at Saguaro High School recently in efforts to protest the healthcare reform bill and to promote the referendum on the 2010 Arizona ballot, which is called Arizonans for Healthcare Freedom. While the Tea Party has been criticized for their lack of racial diversity, some of the attendees and participants were as vociferous as they were diverse in culture.
And there is everything undignified about not getting care because you're ashamed to seek it out, or because you can't afford it, or because you're made to feel charitable. And these are not what physicians will put you through, because this is not why they give up so much of themselves to be physicians. And if we can get back to that place where doctors can communicate with their patients, they can make their decisions, they can work out arrangements that are equitable for everybody, people will actually have the health care we also desperately need as a society, and which we as physicians want to be able to continue to afford providing and enjoy doing as our purpose in life.
The organizer of the Tea Party rally shown here was quite ecstatic about the Republican Party blocking the Obama administration's...
These guys back in an amazing way. Remember when Obama got elected, everyone was saying, oh, this is going to be the first 100 days, it's going to be like FDR's first 100 days, or it's going to be like what Johnson did back in 65 with his Democratic Congress. Everybody thought this was going to be an absolute landslide in terms of legislation. And I had the feeling what happened was that Obama went to his supporters at the beginning of the whole thing and said, well, guys, what do you want to get done? And went to his big supporters and the big money guys and Soros and all those people and said, all right, what are the 10 things we're going to accomplish this year? And then by about June, I think he was asking, what are the 5 things we're going to accomplish this year? And they narrowed it down. They were going to do cap and trade. They were going to try to maybe go back and do the card check labor legislation, big labor legislation. They were looking at immigration reform. I can't believe they're even going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole, but they were talking about that. They were going to do health care. They had a few other things on the agenda. And the amazing thing is, by the end of the summer, they basically had 1 or 2 issues, and by December, the only thing they had that they thought they could push through was health care. And they weren't so sure they could even get that done. And we pushed them back into March. And you pushed them back into March. So we did actually, it appears we've lost, but I think our speaker tonight has a lot of good news for us in terms of what we can actually do to fix this before this becomes yet another gigantic long-term government entitlement program that's going to be bankrupt and that's going to take away our freedom.
The guest speaker, Dr. Novak, went on to discredit the entire healthcare reform bill.
People got wind that it really wasn't a health care bill he wanted. It was really a transfer of decision-making power from you and your families to Washington and Washington's cronies. This massive money grab, in this massive effort to even more so be in control of what medications all of you and your families and neighbors are going to have access to, that cost is going to be in the form of less access to medications, fewer jobs, less well-paying jobs, less R&D, and less innovation. And said this is when they would say it would be a job killer, which is what we say and which is what we believe. There is one area that's going to get great job growth, and that is going to be the brand new business and industry of giving advice on how to keep companies compliant with the new rules that are going to be created by the 120 new federal bureaucratic agencies that were created in the bill. Increased access to care at a more affordable cost. It's nowhere in that at all. One good thing about the bill, if you're somebody who's opposed to it, is that there's essentially an unending supply of things for me to talk about that aren't good about it. I could go on till midnight probably about it. And I'll do media interviews, and usually somewhere near the end of the media interview, they'll ask me, is there anything good in the law? And I don't have a problem talking generally. Silence is not particularly a virtue that I have, but that one generally stumps me. Because almost without exception, there are almost no reasonably decent provisions in this bill. Even the ones that on their face sound good, actually in implementation are going to get us further away from the goal of increasing access to care and making health care more affordable.
After close to 2 hours of Dr. Novak, there was this guy.
From Tennessee, named Van Arion, who's also filed, again, the First and 10th Amendment, and he had 10,000 people who have joined. Doesn't cost you a dime. I think he'll still lose. I don't believe we'll lose, and next week Scott's Republic's supposed to be doing a big story on me and all that. So all I want you to do is go to youcansue.us, and you want to contact me anything else. That's how we will defeat this entire bill.